made the mistake of admitting to us that $450 million is the starting point. They served that talking point up on a silver platter for us. We would be foolish not to take advantage of it to gain even more for our movement. People have also told me that it will be hard to win, as if it's not already going to be hard to win $300 million, as if they will not fight us every single step of the way. I have already said that the media, Bezos, and other large corporations will fight us, no matter what number we give. It will be hard no matter what. So we should fight for what we need. That the city is mobilizing to stop us should be all the proof that we need, that our movement is strong enough to at least fight for the minimum amount that the government already admitted to. So I motion that we raise the amount to the bare minimum, to $450 million. Thank you.
For starters, I just want to clarify something. The McKinsey report said that $450 million was the bottom end of the amount of money that would be needed to solve the housing crisis in all of King County. The percentage of that would be needed to solve the housing crisis in Seattle would be something close to $300 million, which is what we're proposing to raise. So actually this amount is in line with the McKinsey report, and the coordinating committee did consider that number. Because, again, the 450 is the amount for all of King County. The tax we're proposing is to address the housing crisis in Seattle. I think one other thing just to clarify, the argument has been made that we should start high because we're going to be negotiated down. What we're doing is we're putting together language for a ballot initiative. There will be no negotiation after this. This isn't a number that we're proposing to the city council and then will be negotiated down. We're talking about the language that we ourselves are going to file and then gather support for signatures for a ballot initiative in the fall. There's no one else to negotiate with. It's just us. If we say the number is 300, the number is 300. That will be in the ballot initiative. There's no way that number is going to go down anymore. So that argument I think doesn't really apply in this case. And just finally, $300 million per year, 750 affordable homes per year, every year, is a huge victory. Again, the number $300 million is the same amount that was successfully won in San Francisco recently, but in the context of Seattle, it actually makes a much bigger impact because San Francisco is a much bigger city with a much larger city budget. So in terms of precedent, we are already with $300 million, setting a higher precedent for the amount of funding that we are demanding than has been won recently. And I think if we step too far beyond that precedent of the amount that has been able to be won in other cities, then we really are risking
Thank you so much
losing. Yes, thank you.
So we want to allow space for one more person to speak for the amendment and one more person to speak in opposition. Is there anyone else that wants to speak in favor of going from 300 to 450? The first thing I saw was you. You will have 2 minutes.
Hi, everybody. My name is Steve. I want to say 300 million would be a great victory, and we all are strongly behind that. However, we have to remember that 300 million is going to be divided between housing and other community deal projects, so it really doesn't meet up to the McKinsey report amount. And I think we got to go for what we can get. Big business is going to go after us. They're going to throw everything they can at us, no matter how much we ask for. As people know, when we wanted 47 million, they were against that. So let's go for what we really need, and we can win people to that just as well as we can to 300 million. This movement is going to have to move people's consciousness. We're not going to win people on the basis of what people already right now believe. We're going to have to go out and win them. So let's win them to 450 million.
The biggest experience, most overwhelming experience our movements have with ballot initiatives is not winning because of overreach and not understanding the central component of building a successful campaign will be to bring even broader forces. Many speakers stress this, and I want to underscore that point. As great as our movement is, it's not going to be enough. And in order to bring broader forces, larger unions, and so on and so forth, we will need to make sure that the things we're fighting for is in line with what they want to fight for. $300 million is going to be a huge victory, and we should not, set up obstacles for ourselves. I want to mention the coordinating committee itself is composed of many grassroots organizations: Chief Transit Riders Union, 350 Seattle, Socialist Alternative, Nicholsville, UAW 4121, Faith Leaders, Rank and File Democrats. All of them have unanimously agreed that it makes sense for us to fight for $300 million and have that be etched shown in the ballot initiative, rather than compounding our problem, because it's going to be a very difficult campaign. And I specifically want to mention Nicholsville, as you all know, they represent currently homeless people. They know more than anyone the urgency of winning as much as possible, but they voted for $300 million because they understand that right now the debate is between having nothing versus 300, and they want to win something, and this is a winnable fight. I'll also say, we were in the trenches for the $15 an hour fight, and I heard so many activists, leaders saying we should fight for 25, 30 because 15 is not enough. And what we said honestly was, of course $15 an hour is not enough, and let's be honest, $25 is not enough. Capitalism sucks. Lots of our lives. Are movements that are able to formulate demands based on a combination of two things. One, boldness. We do want boldness. We are not talking about $100 million or $40 million.
Please keep your hands up high. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, put your arms down. 113 in opposition and abstentions. Abstentions. That's who we're counting right now. All right, 18 abstaining. 113 for. Eight abstaining. 8. I'd spell it, but I just forgot how to spell. For 450 million, we have 13. In opposition, we have 114. And abstaining, we have 8. And so It fails. Sorry. We're going with 300 million. Guys, we're gonna win 300 million. Yes. I apologize for my lack of formality. I failed at Robert's rules of anything. On good news, we raised $5,000 today. All right, so now we need to vote on the full resolution. I'm gonna pass the microphone.
None of the amendments that we voted on passed, so it's going to be the full resolution as written with the friendly amendments that were described earlier, adding language about accessibility and publicly owned or controlled and permanently affordable. So, all attendees in favor of the resolution. The full resolution is quite long. I'm not going to read it, but there are copies of it. There were copies on the tables as you came in. Folks should have it. Okay, great. It's being held up in the back if anyone doesn't have a copy.
Anybody need a copy? I'm gonna bring it to you. Raise your hand.
All right. So, attendees in favor of adopting the resolution, please raise your hand.
Yeah. Hands up.
Thank you. Hands down. Attendees opposed to the resolution? Any abstentions?
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Votes in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 abstention. I'm going to ask Sean Sawant to come up here for a few minutes to make a couple remarks before we leave, and then before everyone leaves and heads out the door, we're going to take a big group picture. We're going to take that Tax Amazon banner and bring it to the front in front of the stage here so everyone can gather on the stage, in front of the stage, and we'll take a group shot before the end. Sound good?
So my dear friends, we are making history as we speak, but you know what happens in City Hall, the state legislature, US Congress? many politicians, in fact most politicians, would like nothing better than to pretend that this isn't even happening. Which means what? When you all don't show up to City Hall, we don't get our way. So if we don't pass this resolution against the state ban on progressive taxation, again, by taxing big business, if we don't pass this resolution on Monday, the message that goes out to all those politicians who are waiting to sell us out is that, oh, we can go right ahead and do that because the city council couldn't get its act together and oppose it. Are we going to let that happen? No! I know it's in the middle of the day on Monday tomorrow, and it's unfortunate that these meetings, even the timing is undemocratic, but it is what it is at this moment. So I'm making a personal appeal to you all to make sure that you take these leaflets. These are all both events at the same time, the 2 votes in City Hall tomorrow. We need you there in order to make sure that the resolution passes. And one more thing, the other thing that's going to be for a vote tomorrow is a moratorium on winter evictions. And guess what? Guess what? As soon as we put this legislation for the city council discussion, the state legislature put a bill in the state saying they're going to ban, preempt winter moratorium. So anything we try to fight for, they try to preempt. So right now, we need to send a strong message by making sure both the winter evictions moratorium passes, meaning nobody gets evicted in the winter, and the resolution to make sure that we have no ban on on big business taxation. So please join me if you can. We need to get this passed.
Before everyone leaves, raise your hand if you can't show up tomorrow. Awesome. We will see those of you who can. Raise your hand if you cannot. All of the cannots. I'm not gonna shame you, I promise you. When we were doing the budget organizing to try to get money allocated for restorative justice programs, a huge thing that made the council members realize that if they didn't do something, there were going to be a lot more people than the ones who raised their hands in their office, was folks calling on the weekend, and when they got there on Monday, they had their voicemails were all full, was sending in hundreds of emails. So if you cannot show up tomorrow, those of you who said you could, I'll be looking from your face on a little TV screen. But those of you who said you couldn't, post online and ask all your friends to call council members, ask them to email. You call and email. It really does make a huge difference when their voicemails are full and their legislative aides have to read hundreds of emails. So send those emails, make those phone calls, ask all your friends, your social media, the folks who live in your house with you to do the same, all right?
Stand out in front, but let's pack the stage.